Good day, here are the top stories of the Manila Times on Thursday, March 31, 2022. Davao City Mayor Sara Carpio expressed confidence that her running mate, presidential candidate Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., will win in Mindanao. On Wednesday, the duo campaigned in the Davao region, home to more than 3.2 million voters. Speaking to reporters, Duterte Carpio claimed that based on their surveys, Marcos got 70% to 80% voter preference in Mindanao. The tandem of Marcos and Duterte Carpio, dubbed as the BBM Sara Unity Team, has consistently led pre-election surveys for their respective positions. Women are more empowered in workplaces as they take on leadership roles, female leaders shared. Speaking during the Manila Times Online Business Forum, Empowered Women Powering Changes, PNA Grant Thornton Chairperson and Chief Executive Officer or CEO Marivic Españo said that there was an improving percentage of women in leadership positions. Maybach Philippines President and CEO Abigail Tina del Rosario said that Filipino women are better off than their counterparts in other countries in the areas of academics, professional, politics, and legislation. Philippine Women's Economic Network founding chairperson and president and Philippine Business Coalition for Women Empowerment co-chairperson Maria Aurora Boots Giotina Garcia gave assurances that there are policies in place to protect and support women in the workforce, including the Magna Carta for Women, the expanded maternity leave law, the Safe Streets and Public Spaces law, as well as the telecommuting law, which allows women to remote workly. Similarly, Rags to Riches president and founding partner Riz Fernandez Ruiz challenged men to play a greater role in parenting to support women. Insura Life Assurance Co-Executive Chairperson Nina Aguas also hoped to empower women in terms of financial independence to give them higher chances of getting ahead in their careers. The Alliance of Public Transport Organization or AP party vowed to push for the improvement of the country's transport sector if it wins a seat in the House of Representatives in the May 9 polls. Representative Ronnie Ong, AP's first nominee, said in an interview with the Manila Times, voters of the Times said the COVID-19 pandemic became an eye-opener on what areas of the transport sector need improvement. He added that the problems should be addressed by improvement projects and relevant legislation. Ong was one of the authors of the proposed Foundling Welfare Act approved by the House of Representatives in 2020. A study conducted by the Ateneo School of Government or ASOG showed that more Filipinos or 79% of those surveyed get their news online, particularly from their Facebook feed. The other respondents said they were getting their news from television, which is 66%, YouTube, which is 57%, and from news websites, which is 54%. Project Research Manager and Associate Professor Maria Rosel San Pascual, PhD, said that while the majority of respondents often get their news randomly from Facebook, it does not necessarily mean that Facebook is their only source of news. She said that respondents generally have multiple sources of news. San Pascual said that those relying on Facebook were more proactively seeking news were encountering them from other sources. These people, she said, were informed on political activities and issues. The survey was conducted from October 27 to November 12, 2021 on 2,000 respondents who were asked how often they get news from TV, radio, print, news websites, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. The government aims to borrow 200 billion pesos from local sources next month, according to the Bureau of Treasury or BTR figures released on Wednesday. If the program is followed, it will be less than 250 billion pesos set for this month. Treasury bills or T-bills were eyed to bring in 60 billion pesos, while T-bonds were targeted to bring 140 billion pesos. Also, 20 billion pesos in T-bills will be sourced through the 91-day tenor, 20 billion pesos through the 182-day tenor, and 20 billion pesos more through the 364-day tenor. Meanwhile, 35 billion pesos in T-bonds will be generated through the 3-year tenor, 35 billion pesos through the 4-year tenor, 35 billion pesos through the 7-year tenor, and another 35 billion pesos through the 10-year tenor. Philippine Sports Commission or PSC Chairman William Butch Ramirez announced on Wednesday that Olympian pole vaulter Ernest John E.J. Obiena and the leadership of the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association or PATAFA have finally settled their differences. Ramirez, who served as the sole mediator in the proceedings, said the PATAFA has also agreed to endorse Obiena to the 2022 Southeast Asian Games and the 2022 World Outdoor Athletics. Both parties have also agreed that the endorsement for Obiena's participation in other competitions will be subject to the usual rules and regulations of the PATAFA. All information discussed and disclosed in this mediation, however, remain confidential as agreed by all parties. Milwaukee star Giannis Antetokounmpo scored 40 points and rejected a Joel Embiid shot with seconds remaining to propel the NBA champion Bucks to a key 118-116 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers on Tuesday, Wednesday in Manila. Chris Middleton scored 22 points and Drew Holiday added 18 for the Bucks, who move a half game behind the Miami Heat for first place in the Eastern Conference as the Sixers drop 2 places to 4th, still just 1.5 games behind the Heat. As the top of the day clash dominated Eastern Conference action, the Los Angeles Lakers slid out of Western Conference postseason position with an embarrassing 128-110 loss to the Mavericks in Dallas. With LeBron James and Anthony Davis sidelined by injury, the Lakers trailed by a shocking 82-56 at the halftime. It was the second most first half points allowed by the Lakers in franchise history, after the 83 conceded to the Celtics in a game on February 27, 1959. Tiger Woods flew to Augusta National on Tuesday, Wednesday in Manila, sparking even greater speculation the Masters next week could be his first time competing against the best since a car crash 14 months ago severely injured his right leg. Various plane tracking websites showed a Gulf Stream registered to Woods leaving South Florida at about 9 a.m. and the Twitter handle Eureka Earth showed that private jet on the runway at Augusta's Regional Airport. SLCom's morning read cited a source as saying Woods was at Augusta National with 12-year-old son Charlie. Woods' agent at Excel Sports did not immediately respond to a voicemail from the Associated Press seeking comment. Woods has not said anything publicly or even walked in a way that suggested he would be ready to play his first major and first PGA Tour since the Masters in November 2020. The Times in its editorial talks about on determining the costs of climate action requires a holistic approach. Read the full version in the opinion section on print and its digital edition, or listen to the voice of the Times. Antonio Contreras and Ian Macabento are the columnists on today's front page. Contreras writes about the 23 billion pesos question, Macabenta on the dishonest and manipulative senatorial surveys. For more news and information, read the Manila Times on print, subscribe to its digital edition, or log on to www.manilatimes.net. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and keep up with the Times. This is Christian Kromag Hanoy reporting.